Midcap stocks see broad-based buying after foreign investors turn net buyers in Thursday's session. Utilities, realty and industrials lead the charge. Bajaj Finance perks up after the company elevates storied executive Rajiv Jain to vice chairman from managing director and deputy managing director Anup Saha to managing director's post. Analysts cheer the announcement. Private equity major Bain will pick up 18% stake in Manappuram Finance via a preferential allotment of shares and warrants in equal proportion for over 4,800 crore rupees. An open offer for 26% equity will follow, giving Bain control of the gold financier. The Defence Acquisition Council clears procurement proposals worth 54,000 crore rupees in a buoyant vendors like Bharat Dynamics, Bharat Electronics. The council also approves guidelines to shorten procurement timelines. Ola Electric informs receipt of inquiries from ministries over discrepancy in its sales data versus Vahan registration. The EV maker says a backlog in registration is at the root, and even as state shutters some showrooms for lack of clarification and certification. Hello and welcome to Business Lunch, coming live from CNBC-TV18 Motilal Oswal Studios. I'm Vinny Motiwala. Thank you so much for tuning in. A great week that it's been for the market because we saw green coming across the screen through the week. Today also the Nifty is managing to hold on to that green. At one point of time, it's seen the Nifty actually touch that 23,400 mark. Right now also around that level. So from the day's lowest point in the red when it opened and went in the red, we've seen a recovery coming in. Similar for Nifty Bank, almost near the day's highest point, gains of 0.8%. Mid and small cap, that's outperforming the benchmark indices today, both holding on to gains of more than 1%. Small cap is almost 2% in today's trading session, so keep an eye out on that. One sector that's not doing well is the Nifty Metals. Let's pull that up because that's the only one trading in the red. It's down almost 0.1% in the trading session. Otherwise, advance decline ratio clear in the favor of advances versus declines. So that's how the market shape up is looking like. Green still holding onto the D Street and onto the Nifty as well. But let's move on and talk about an important stock for today. We have Bajaj Finance that's gaining in trade today, and this is after the company has elevated Rajiv Jain to the post of vice chairman for a period of 3 years. Hormaz is joining in with us to give us more details on this. Hormaz, afternoon, and everyone was watching out for this, right? This is what everyone wanted to know from Bajaj Finance.
Oh, absolutely. Much awaited, clarity needed, and the key overhang on the stock has also been addressed with this. As Rajiv Jain being elevated to vice chairman, the big takeaway is that he will stay at the company in a new role for a period of 3 years, and Anup Kumar Saha, who's been the deputy managing director, has now been elevated as the managing director for a 3-year period. And we had signs of this coming as well, right? Sanjeev Bajaj spoke to us exclusively earlier this week. He mentioned the fact that Rajiv Jain remains very committed to the business and the board will take a call on his future. And Rajiv Jain himself had made these intentions very clear during the earnings call of Bajaj Finance in the previous quarter, where he had mentioned that he intends to stay on at the company and he would hope that he is involved in shaping up strategies for the company and the subsidiaries going forward as well. Brokerages have taken this announcement very positively. Price target increases coming across the board. BofA Securities has raised that target to 10,500 now. They're saying that this is a well-executed transition plan, and earnings also are at an inflection point because the NIMs are improving and the credit costs are peaking. Citi has a buy rating. That Citi has also raised its target to 10,200 from 9,060 earlier, and they are also saying that this leadership continuity and the clarity with which this has been done is also lending a lot of credibility to Bajaj Finance, and it has as the concerns around this management transition have also been addressed with this. Morgan Stanley had done a scenario analysis earlier in the week with Rajiv Jain staying on at Bajaj Finance. They have also raised their target to 10,500 from 9,300 earlier. They remain overweight as well, and they are saying that this will improve investor confidence and sentiment, and more importantly, Bajaj Finance's investment thesis has now become the strongest and the clearest for any large cap private financial company, and they are also expecting this re-rating in the recent past to sustain and strong returns over the next 12 months. And lastly, CLSA, who has the highest target on the street for Bajaj Finance, 11,000 rupees is the projection from 10,000 earlier, calls it a top pick, and it's saying that credit costs are also peaking. They'll moderate by FY26, and they're expecting the profits to grow at a 26% CAGR over the next 2 years. So positive commentary all around. An analyst gung-ho, the stock at a record high in today's session.
Absolutely, stock at a record high in today's session. So keep an eye out on Bajaj Finance. But from one NBFC to another, but this one is a gold finance here. Now, Manappuram Finance is also trading at a 52-week high. 11% gain as of now, and this is why, because Bain Capital is to buy 18% stake via preferential issue of shares and additional 26% via the open offer. Sudarshan is joining in with us to give us more details on this front. Sudarshan, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Vinny. So look at the move. Stock has gained up to 11%, or say more than 11%. It has gained. It has gone past the deal price that Bain Capital has announced, rupees 236 per share. Now it's trading above that price. So what is all about the deal? Manappuram Finance and Bain Capital have announced the deal that is valued at more than $1 billion, or say more than rupees 10,000 crore. Now Bain Capital will be acquiring up to 42% stake, and that would happen in two phases. In the first part, Bain Capital will acquire 18% stake, and that would happen via the issuance of equity and warrants in the same proportion, that is 9.3 crore. In the second part, Bain Capital will bring in open offer to acquire up to 26% stake, and for this also price is rupees 236 per share. What about the shareholding? Currently, promoters hold around 35% stake. Now, once the deal is done, promoters' holding will come down to less than 29%, and Bain Capital's holding will increase to nearly 42%, or say 41.8%. Now, apart from this announcement, company has also made announcement related to Asirvad Microfinance. If you remember, Asirvad Microfinance had filed DRHP for an IPO. Now, company is saying that Asirvad Microfinance will withdraw that process. So overall, it's a big positive. Most of the brokerages are also positive in the stock after this deal, because it has been long pending, and that's the reason you are seeing a big move in the stock price as well.
Absolutely, seeing a big move in the stock price as well. As of now, I'm also managing to hold on to that around that 9-10% mark of gain that we're seeing coming in for Manappuram Finance. But let's switch gears and talk about Ola Electric. Now, Ola Electric is in focus today, and what came in was over the discrepancies in sales and vehicle registration. Parikshit is joining in with us to give us more details on this front, what the company has to say about this as well. Let's go across there.
Right. Ola Electric has been facing multiple questions from regulators and from government departments handling PLI and the PM e-Drive scheme, and also the Motor Vehicles Regulation Act. Essentially, these queries have been around trade certificates and mismatch in sales data. A CNBC-TV18 newsbreak has now been confirmed. Yesterday, we had reported how the Ministry of Heavy Industries is looking into the mismatch in data as to what Ola is reporting for February in terms of 25,000 vehicles sold versus 8,600 vehicles registered on the Vahan portal. So the Ministry of Heavy Industry is trying to understand why this discrepancy is there. The Ministry of Road Transport is also sending them queries. In fact, we learned from sources that a second letter has been sent to Ola Electric with more specific questions about why valid certificates are not available for all these showrooms that are there in the country. We are also learning that outlets in Maharashtra have been sealed. This is what the Maharashtra Transport Commissioner Vivek Bhimanvar told CNBC-TV18, that 34 outlets of Ola Electric have been sealed pending investigation. They were found not to have valid trade certificates, and showrooms are facing inspections in several other states, including Madhya Pradesh, Punjab, Karnataka, and 36 scooters have been seized in Maharashtra alone. In fact, sources are telling us that several of the 3,500 Ola Electric stores across the country do not have valid trade certificates. Now, this is something that the Ministry of Road Transport is also looking at. In terms of sales, Ola Electric sold 8,600 vehicles in February 2025. This was as per Vahan data, the vehicle registration data of the Ministry of Road Transport. In March so far, 11,781 vehicles have been registered. CNBC-TV18 has sent a number of queries to Ola over the last few days as to how much of these March registrations are for Feb or for the backlog. there were no clear replies. But now in a stock exchange filing, the company has said that temporary backlog in February is due to negotiations with our registration vendors. 40% of the Feb backlog has been cleared. But clearly, Ola Electric has a lot of replying to do. Several RTOs in the country have sent them notices. They will have to reply to that in order to get their showrooms unsealed, get their scooters back as well. And those replies will also have to be sent to central government departments such as the Ministry of Heavy Industries and the MORTH.
Absolutely, Parikshit. Thank you so much for the latest update coming in there. But on that note, let's listen into the Maharashtra's Transport Commissioner speaking exclusively to CNBC-TV18 on the Ola Electric issue.
One complaint is received to Honorable Minister of Transport Maharashtra, which he has forwarded to me. And it is alleged that the Ola Electric is operating without a trade certificate. On the basis of that complaint, we inspected about 34 premises in Mumbai, and we found that these premises, they were some vehicles were kept there. There were the lithium batteries also, and the premises didn't have the trade certificate. The RTO, the respective RTO, they have issued the notice to them, and on getting the reply from them, we'll take the further action. Around 36 scooters have been confiscated. I mean, they were impounded, not confiscated, they are impounded. And as when we'll get the response, the RTO will verify the response and will take the further action as per the law. See, as per the Central Motor Vehicle Act, if the place from where you are registering or you are selling the vehicle has to be registered with the RTO department, and they must obtain the trade certificate. We found that they didn't have the trade certificate for this premises, so the notice has been given to them. See, the registering authority has to take the action. The respective RTO, depending upon the response, they will take the action as per the law. So we have to just wait for them what action they will take, because I am yet to get any report from them, and the registering authority is the RTO. But right now, this premises has been seized and they are not operating from that premises.
Okay, on that note, we're going to slip into a very short break. When we return, we'll get you more news and updates on the other side. Welcome back to Business Lunch on CNBC-TV18. Now, sources tell CNBC-TV18 that India is exploring diplomatic ways to raise the production of solar PV modules impacted by supply chain shocks. Abhimanyu is joining in with us to give us more details on this one. Abhimanyu?
Sources have indicated that several beneficiary companies under the PLI scheme for high-efficiency solar PV modules are unlikely to meet their set targets due to unavailability of the requisite technology for polysilicon-based ingots and wafers, stating that over rupees 16,000 crores of the scheme's outlay is likely to remain unutilized. Sources told CNBC-TV18 that around rupees 21,000 crores of the scheme's 24,000 crore rupees of outlay may be allocated to launch a third tranche of the scheme. A few days back, the Indian Solar Manufacturers Association had urged the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy to impose a safeguard duty on the import of polysilicon-based ingots and wafers to boost domestic production and prevent dumping. Acknowledging the challenges which have been faced by several domestic players in acquiring the requisite technology to produce polysilicon wafers and ingots, sources told CNBC-TV18 that the government is taking up the issue internally with the Ministry of External Affairs for an appropriate diplomatic resolution, stating that the current global supply chain for polysilicon-based ingots and wafers is dependent primarily on China. Government sources further said that several PLI beneficiaries for ingots and wafers have been facing issues in securing the requisite technology, and hence the situation may require further government intervention.
Okay, Abhimanyu, thank you so much for that. Now, moving on to some national news. A fire that broke out at a residential bungalow of a Delhi High Court judge led to the recovery of a huge pile of cash, forcing the Supreme Court to transfer the judge to Allahabad High Court. Now, Ashmit is joining in with us to give us more details on this one. Afternoon, Ashmit.
Well, the Indian judiciary, led by the Chief Justice of India, finds itself in a very precarious position. The optics of this situation, at least on the face of it, seems to suggest a blatant case of judicial corruption. The incident at hand is that of Justice Yashwant Verma, one of the senior-most judges of the Delhi High Court, heads a commercial bench of the Delhi High Court, has decided on numerous tax-related matters, GST-related matters, regulatory matters involving big-ticket companies. What's important is that on the holy break, while he was away from Delhi, the fire broke out at his residence. The fire tenders, however, who arrived at the situation, discovered vast amounts of unaccounted cash. Now, that is what has led to a situation where the Chief Justice is trying to contend with, the Chief Justice of India is trying to contend with. We're given to understand that the immediate reaction that the Collegium has given, that the Supreme Court Collegium has given, is that to issue a transfer order transferring Justice Verma back to his home cadre, which is the Allahabad High Court. But we're also given to understand that this is the first step that has been taken in a whole gamut of disciplinary actions that are currently being contemplated. In fact, just this morning, a meeting was called of the Supreme Court Collegium. Again, for the benefit of our viewers, the Supreme Court Collegium consists of the 5 senior-most judges of the Supreme Court, including the Chief Justice of India. There was a 45-minute meeting called this morning. We're given to understand that a serious view has been taken. There were calls from within the members of the Collegium asking for his removal, asking for disciplinary action, asking for an in-house committee to probe these entire allegations and questions. So clearly a difficult position this that the judiciary finds itself in. The CJI yet to give more clarity.
Thank you so much for the latest update coming in there, and we'll surely watch out for more clarity coming in on this front as well, Ashmit. Thanks so much for that. But on that note, we're going to step into a very short break, viewers. Up next, we get you some news on London's Heathrow Airport, which remained shut today. We tell you why on the other side. Welcome back to Business Lunch on CNBC-TV18. Nifty, as of now, slightly below the 23,400 levels is what we're looking at for the markets. Now, 375. So keep an eye on that. Slight bit off the day's highest point is what the Nifty is trading at. We've seen Amber Enterprises, Jindal Stainless, Nalco. So yes, because Nifty Metal is also under pressure, Jindal Stainless, Nalco, all these metal names are a bit under pressure. Other than that, Shipping Corporation of India, TB or Tech are some of these names which are seeing clear pressure in today's trading session. While what we're seeing doing well today is Manappuram Finance, we spoke about, because it's almost trading at the 52-week high level as well. So keep an eye on that. Some of these pharma names, Ajanta Pharma, Alembic Pharma, are seeing a lot of up move in today's trading session. So that is interesting to watch out for. And some of these chemical names are also doing well. So PCBL Chemicals is something that we're watching out for in today's trading session among the top movers and holding on to gain of almost 5% is what we're seeing right now. Okay, let's move on, and some international news updates that we have coming for you all. London's Heathrow Airport will remain closed until tomorrow following a major fire at the nearby electrical substation, now which has caused a widespread power outage and disrupted flight schedules. Airport authorities have advised passengers to check with their airlines before traveling to the airport as the fire remains uncontained. Madhya is joining in with us to give us the details on this and how it may affect Indian carriers as well. Madhya, over to you.
Well, it's not just the Indian carriers. Several foreign airlines also fly passengers from major Indian cities to London Heathrow. There's British Airways, Virgin Atlantic offering direct flights, Emirates, Etihad, Lufthansa, KLM, Air France, Kuwait Airways offering connecting flights. Among Indian carriers, only Air India offers a direct service to Heathrow from Delhi, Mumbai and Bengaluru. Indigo also offers Heathrow flights through its partner Turkish Airlines that has a stopover at Istanbul. Now, Air India has 6 6 daily flights to Heathrow, 3 from Delhi, 2 from Mumbai and 1 from Bengaluru. Now all these flights have been impacted, causing a severe inconvenience to several passengers. Delhi-London flight AI-161 was diverted to Frankfurt. Mumbai-London flight at AI-129 was diverted back to Mumbai. All other Air India flights to and from London Heathrow for the 21st of March have been cancelled. And since some aircraft would be stuck at either sides, this could have a spillover effect like rescheduling and cancellations on tomorrow's flight schedule as well. So this is an advisory for passengers that they can watch for.
Okay, Madhya, thank you so much for that, on keeping us updated on that front. And rupee, let's keep an eye out on that. That is, rupee has risen 1% against dollar in the last 5 sessions. So we will keep an eye out on where rupee is headed. But with that, we're absolutely out of time on this edition of Business Lunch on CNBC TV 18. Thank you so much for tuning in. Midcap Radar coming up next.